What is going on, guys? It is Brickgeneral here, back with another What We Know video, and today, guys, I'm going to be covering The Last of Us Part 2. So if you guys don't know, Last of Us was a game that came out in 2013, and it's arguably the best game that was ever on the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, basically, gen. Basically, the plot of it was essentially there was Joel, and then there was Ellie, and basically, they worked together, and they fought against various people, and basically an infection was going around the world that was basically taking over people called the cordyceps, and it basically took over the people, made them into essentially zombies, and then they were working to survive not only against these infected people, but also the more dangerous enemy was actually the rest of the survivors. As they were hostile, they were trying to rob stuff from them, and then there was basically a plot of a group called the Fireflies, basically wanting to take Ellie because she was immune to the disease and stuff like that. Basically, it was basically a great game. I can't explain basically how good it was, but it was a fantastic game. I honestly loved it. Haven't played it, but I watched it. It was basically like a movie. Fantastic. But Last of Us Part 2 has been rumored for several years, and it's been confirmed that it's going to be coming out probably this year. Some are saying in May. And right now it's saying it's going to be published in May 29th of 2020, but obviously that's subject to being delayed as what's going on around the world, and also every other game seems to be getting delayed, and it's a PS4 exclusive. And here's all that's known about the plot, basically. So it's an upcoming third-person action adventure survival horror game. We already knew that, being developed by Naughty Dog. They did a fantastic job doing the first one, and they probably got even more money to develop it after the success of the first one. And it will be a sequel to it, and we'll pick up the story of Ellie and Joel 5 years after the events of the original game. So it's 5 years after the events of the game, as I said, which is 25 years after the original outbreak, which happens in the beginning of the first game. And so Ellie will be 19 years old, and then Joel will be in his mid-50s, and the story will be split into 4 seasonal chapters, starting with Jackson County, Wyoming during the winter months, and then basically, if you guys remember from the end of the last game, the pair has settled down in Tommy's, who is Joel's brother. They've settled down in his settlement, which is kind of like a settlement of a bunch of survivors that are working together. They're growing food, they have electricity and stuff like that. They're trying to live a normal life, and Ellie's actually managed to forge some friendships with some of the people there, which is great. But the survivors, of course, face constant threats from the infected and other hostile survivors. And basically, there's an unnamed tragic event that happens during when they're living tranquilly in the Tommy's settlement that basically makes Ellie go on a rage, and basically she wants to go on her journey of vengeance to carry out justice against a mysterious, dangerous cult that's rumored to be religious called the Seraphites. There's not much known about them. They weren't in the first game, but basically all that's known about them is that they believe that they should sacrifice people in this game, and then I guess they do something to Ellie that really ticks her off, and she's going to go after them. And it's important to note, you actually can't play as Joel in this game. You can only play as Ellie for most of it. Also, the game will primarily take place in Seattle, Washington. Now, as for the gameplay, that's all we know about the single player. Obviously, we don't want to give too much of it away anyway, but the multiplayer was originally planned to launch with the game, but it's been realized that they're not going to actually do one, which is fine, because honestly, the main part of the game is the single player. It's really like a movie, so of course, we don't really need a multiplayer to make it good. The single player should be suffice, judging how good it's be. And it said the game features are going to expand basically traversal and stealth mechanics, including a jump button, ability to go prone, and a dodge mechanic. The enemy AI has been improved, and basically the one main thing about this is that when you're facing like human enemies, they can basically communicate to figure out where like you are. So before they couldn't do that, it would be like a classic game stealth situation where you'd go around killing each one. But if one of them spots you, then they can do that. Also, they've added basically a meter that shows an alert meter that shows if the enemies know where you are. It's going to go all the way, and if it goes up to red, that means the enemies know where you are. There's also an injury gauge that basically tells you when you get injured, and for each different injury, like if you get shot with like an arrow, then you have to like basically spam like right button or something to remove the arrow and heal yourself. It's going to be different for each thing, which I think is always cool. They're adapting for the game. Also, they've added new supplies. As you guys knew before, one of the main things of the game was foraging for like ammo and stuff. You'd always be low on that stuff. They've added new ammo, especially explosive arrows if you have a bow and arrow. That's going to do it for this, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys have any other games you guys want to see, let me know in the comments below. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.